Hello, welcome back to the chaos that is Shani and books. Today, I decided that I am going to make a video where I tell you every single unread book on my bookshelves. I've seen people make these videos before, and the last 2 years, one of my reading goals is to finish the year with less books on my physical TBR than I started it. And the first year that I had this as my goal, I think I was one book under after the year was up. And this year we are not to the end of December just yet. We still have about 2 weeks to go. So I could also still read some of these books, but I definitely think that I am well under that number. I'm not exactly sure, but I know that I have not purchased anywhere near as many books as previous years this year. And while I have also read books from the library and on my Kindle, I do think that I have gotten my physical TBR down. So this will be interesting to see how many books I actually do have left physically on my bookshelves that are unread. And then from this list, please tell me whether you think I should either get rid of books or which ones you think I should prioritize from this list. Okay, so I kind of have them in my shelf in orders. So we're starting with, I think, young adult mostly, if I've got this organized. So let's just get into it. I have the next 2 books in the Raven Boys series, books 2 and 3, Blue, Lily, Lily, Blue, and The Dream Thieves. I just read them in the wrong order, but I have Cemetery Boys, which I know I have put on TBRs before, and I don't know why I don't read it. Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. I think this is young adults, is it? The Boy Who Steals Houses by C.G. Drews. I think this is an Australian author. This one has been here for a very long time, I think. But I have Shatter Me, which, to those of you who have followed me recently will know this is not to my taste now, but I did used to read quite a lot of young adult fantasy, so I still have it sitting here. Birthday by Meredith Russo, which the sprayed edges are so cute. Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. And also Kate in Waiting by Becky Albertalli. Holes by Louis Satcher. Begin and Begin, which is an anthology by a bunch of Australian authors. Final Draft by Riley Redgate. Autobiography by Christina Lauren. Forward Me Back to You by Mitali Perkins. I have not looked at this book in a while, but the cover is really pretty. I forget what this is about. I think it's about adoption. Black Enough, which is another anthology by a bunch of authors. All the Bad Apples by Moira Fowley Doyle, and also by the same author, Spellbook of the Lost and Found. Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley, which I love this cover. I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston, and Far From the Tree by Robin Benway. Next up, we're moving into like thriller, mystery, horror, I think. I don't know how organized my shelves are. Right. Things are falling. I have The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I have Rules for Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson, which I think this has a different title in the US. The reason I was putting this off is because I think it like spoils other mysteries or thrillers, and I was going to read those first, but am I ever going to read it? Yeah, Donna Tartt's The Secret History. I've DNF'd that like 5 times. I don't know. If you've read, I think it's called 8 Perfect Murders, please let me know, should I read the books that it talks about in it, or should I just read it? Who is Maud Dixon by Alexandra Andrews. Okay, The Dangers of Female Provocation by Zoe Coyle. I can't read, I can't talk. Anyway, The Silence Project by Carol Haley. Counterfeit by Kirsten Chen. The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I feel like I'm going to get rid of this one. I don't know if I'm ever going to read it. Let me know. Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I have some Stephen King books, which, again, not an author I really pick up that often. I have read from him before though, but I have The Shining, Misery and Cell, and Dolores Claiborne. I don't know. Let me know if you think any of those are going to be too scary for me, because I am a baby horror reader. I do have something that I was going to read The Shining for. Maybe I'll do that in the new year. Verity by Colleen Hoover. I don't know if I can ever read more from this author, but maybe I'll try. I was given this copy. If I'm going to read another book from that author, it's probably going to be that one. Next up, my stack of Leanne Moriarty. Big Little Lies by this author is my favorite book, and I have not found anything else from her that I like. but I can always find her books super, super cheap in Australia. So I always pick up used, thrifted or op shop copies. So I have Truly Madly Guilty, What Alice Forgot, 3 Wishes, and Apples Never Fall, all by her. The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. Again, I don't know if I want to read this one. Last Call at the Nightshade Lounge by Paul Kruger. The Other People by CJ Tudor. The Recovery of Rose Gold by Stephanie Roble. Islands by Peggy Frew. The Taking of Annie Thorne, also by CJ Tudor. The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth. And yes, I still haven't read it. I keep putting it on TBRs and I never read it. Next, we're kind of into like sci-fi fantasy territory for adult books. I don't really know. Another one that is really dusty because it's clearly been sitting here a while and I picked it up used, but I do have a Game of Thrones. Am I ever going to read this? I don't know, maybe. I feel like it might be fun just to try. This has been sitting here for so long, but I do have Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. This is second in the series. I will read this one. I did enjoy the first one. I have Scythe by Neil Schusterman. Wayward by Amelia Hart. This might be historical and not fantasy. Also, the US cover is so much better for this one. Wicked As You Wish by Rin Chapeko. And the Shades of Magic series, although there was a 4th book that just came out by V.E. Schwab. So, A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light. I'm actually very excited to try out this series though. Oh, and technically I have some Cassandra Clare books. Hold on. Okay, I also have 6 Cassandra Clare books left, but they were in the Cassandra Clare shelf. So I have the entire Dark Artifices series, which is Lady Midnight. I think you can see why I keep putting these off. I was on a roll with Cassandra Clare. I was reading them all so quickly, but then I just lost momentum. The second book is Lord of Shadows. And the third book is Queen of Air and Darkness, which how do you even read this? Like, it's big. Like, how do I sit there and read this? And then I also have the Last Hours trilogy, which is Chain of Thorns, Chain of Iron, and Chain of Gold. And I think I read that in the wrong order. But I will read these because I am determined to finish these books by this author. And from there on, I don't know where I'm going to go with fantasy because I don't know whether I'm going to like. Oh, I think this might be also fantasy. The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. I think that's it for that section. All right, now I think we're in adult territory. So let me do some non-fiction, historical fiction, general fiction, and then romance. This one I was also given. I think this is an Australian comedian that wrote this book, but it's called Embracing Your Limitations, How to Accept Your Inner Loser and Win at Life. Am I being told that I'm a loser by being given this book? I don't know, but I have The Uncaged Sky by Kylie Moore Gilbert. My 804 Days in an Iranian Prison. I have some historical. So, Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. Which, wink wink, if you have this on your TBR also, we maybe will be reading it in January. Next, Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Need to research more into this author. Don't know if I want to read from them. Again, let me know if they are a decent human or not. The Prophets by Robert Jones Jr. The Final Revival of Opal and Nev by Dawnie Walton. I think this is kind of like been compared to Daisy Jones and the Six. Do I want to pick this for a book club month? Let me know. Have you read this? Do you have it on your TBR? What do you think? Bluebird by Malcolm Knox. I think this is like an Australian satire. Let me know if anyone has read this before. I've never seen anyone talk about it. I have Swing Time by Zadie Smith. The Emporium of Imagination by Tabitha Bird. Olga Dies Dreaming by an author that I keep forgetting to remember how to pronounce. Our Missing Hearts by Celeste Ng, and now that I've read another book by this author, I'm very excited to get to more from her. Honeybee by Craig Silvey. Hold My Girl by Charlene Carr. Songs in Ursa Major by Emma Brody. The Weekend by Charlotte Wood. Born Into This by Adam Thompson. 2 books by Khaled Hosseini, Kite Runner and A Thousand Splendid Suns. A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Buckman. Boy Swallows Universe by Trent Dalton, which literally has like so many awards on it. All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. The Theory of Not Quite Everything by Kara I don't know how to say that at all. Thursdays at Orange Blossom House by Sophie Green. Okay, I think we're in romance section now. Desperate Measures by Katie Robert. I think I bought this for Jan's book club and then I didn't end up reading it. This is like the most out of my comfort zone in the romance, but I think I will read it to see what I think. Always Only You by Chloe Leese. I'm excited for this one. Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. No, I still haven't gotten to it. I said I was going to read it last month. A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I Owe You One by Sophie Kinsella. Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. And Star-Crossed by Minnie Dark. I think that's it. And then I have some straggler Book of the Month books, which I used to have them shipped over to me. But then the prices got too expensive for me. So I have not gotten any for like over a year. But these are the leftover ones from when I was subscribed. I will admit they did get me with the excitement about like waiting for the upcoming books of the month and like getting to pick which ones. The excitement got me and I don't know why I stayed subscribed for so long, considering I'm not even in the country that they are for. But anyway, I have The People We Keep by Alison Larkin. I am excited for this one. I feel like I'll like it. Don't Cry For Me by Daniel Black. Yinka, Where Is Your Husband by Lizzie Demalola Blackburn. I did start this, I think, one time. I don't know. I need to continue. Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford. Someday Maybe by Oni Nwabinelli. I don't know how to pronounce names. I really like this cover though. Friends and Strangers by J. Courtney Sullivan. The Mothers by Britt Bennett. And I think this is the last one. Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. That is all the books. I'll be honest, there could be a straggler book left around here somewhere. I see two, hold on. Okay, these two I was gonna read for a video recently and I didn't end up, so they were sitting away from everything. But I have A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness and The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, and that I think is all of them. Nope, still missed some. I found in my room Dear Dolly by Dolly Alderton, Trick Mirror by Gia Tolentino, The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson, and Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. And that, I think, is all of them. Oh, and my half-finished books. Part of Your World, A Twisted Tale by Liz Braswell, and The Seven Moons of Marley Almeida. And I also don't know how to say this author's name. That, I think, is everything now. I don't know how many there were because I was not counting while I was doing this. I'm going to have to add it in after. But I believe that at the beginning of this year, my unread books on my bookshelf was, I think, 141 or 142. So as long as I'm less than that, which I believe I am, then I have successfully completed one of my goals of the year, which was to end the year with less books on my shelf than I started. So I didn't count, but I'm gonna say I succeeded. So good job me. And that is the video for today. Please let me know which one of these books you think I should read. What should I prioritize? What should I get out of here? And also let me know how many unread books you have physically on your shelf. I want to know if it's more or less than me because I don't know. I want to get my physical TBR. Like, I'm happy with this amount. I wanted to get it even less, but then I don't know. I kind of like having options. Like if I feel like something, then I've always got something here. But I have been using the library a lot more. So I wouldn't be mad if I got my books down even further, but it is good to always have something on hand for any mood that may pop up. Not that I'm a mood reader, but oh my God. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching and I will see you in another video. Maybe tomorrow. Bye.